Hello everybody! Hi. If you've been paying attention to my channel lately, you'll notice I've gotten pretty involved with the Metroid series. So involved in fact that I now only have 3 games left to beat in the entire thing. Main games, that is. Get out of here. In my gaming binge, I've seen so many high points for the Metroid series that I was previously unaware of, and very few lows. But today that all changes. Let me tell you about the worst Metroid game I've played so far. Metroid Prime 2. Coming off the heels of Metroid Prime, I had pretty average hopes for this game. In my opinion, they could replicate Prime 1 with all of its flaws and still have an amazing game on their hands, so I wasn't too worried. And for the intro scenes of this game, it really seems like that's what you're getting yourself into. But not 20 minutes into the first world, Agon Wastes, we're introduced to one of my least favorite mechanics, the Dark Ether. In this game, we're introduced to the idea of Ether, or the regular world, as well as Dark Ether, which Samus is tasked with annihilating. This Dark Ether realm is always nearly the same as the regular world, but with different enemy placements, maybe a few platforming differences, and most of all it's got different door placements. The main caveat here is that you take damage everywhere that isn't lit up by these orbs. This alone wouldn't be an egregious offense, but when you start to find that every piece of progression needs to be completed in the realm that you aren't in, you're just running to and from this sparing number of portals way too often. Metroid-vania games are already widely known for how much backtracking they have, but this game takes it to a whole new level. They make you run through places you've already been to, just so you can jump through a portal and run through places you've already been to get where you're going. Oh yeah, and that passive damage that you have to watch out for? Yeah, it's only life-threatening for a little while because you come across this dark suit right after killing the first boss. The dark suit essentially cuts the darkness damage in half, which is good, right? Sure, technically this is very helpful to the player, but in my case, it actually meant I just don't have to worry about the damage at all anymore. No joke, I got enough healing from enemies and random wildlife in this game that I don't even need to worry about standing in the light 9 out of 10 times. As you collect more energy tanks, this becomes easier and easier to do as well. But hey, if you thought the Dark Ether was going to be the only part of this game that increases how long it will take you to get where you're going, you've got another thing coming. All around Metroid Prime 2 are these rooms that you'll get locked into with annoying space pirates that disappear after being shot. You either kill them so that you can leave the room, or you fail to kill them and they just leave, I guess? I don't know why, but these are littered all over the place as you progress through the game. It sucks. And even if this was not enough to make you hate the backtracking this game provides, might I point out that most upgrade objectives in this game make you travel this far into a different world to collect them? Seriously, I had to leave the world I was in, travel all the way through the other world, kill a mini-boss, and travel all the way back to the world I came from just to continue through some doors I couldn't open before. All the while, of course, while jumping through portals and getting locked into enemy rooms. Okay, certainly, you understand by now why I hate the exploration side of this game. But what about the bosses? I'm so glad you asked, dear viewer. Almost every boss in this game is just another regular enemy, but bigger. This guy? You beat him and he becomes a regular spawn right away. This guy? Yeah, he's just a big one of these things that you kill the same way. This guy? Another big enemy that you have to kill the same way as the small ones. Big surprise there. What happened here? I actually don't understand where this design choice came from. Prime 1 had all these interesting bosses that you never had to deal with until the moment you step into their room, but Prime 2 almost never delivers that same feeling. You may notice I said almost, and that's because there are some genuinely interesting boss fights in this game. The only thing about them is, while they may be interesting, they're so much slower than Prime 1. What do I mean by that? Well, in the immortalized words of Aaron Ego Raptor Hansen himself,
there is so much goddamn waiting.
Seriously, this dude swims in a circle until you're allowed to shoot him. This dude boosts around the level until you can hit him once and let him do it again. This dude needs to be shot in the ass, but it can't be done until you've waited for him to stun himself. And the second last boss of the game spun in a circle for so long that I started up my recording software in the middle of this attack and still had to wait forever for him to stop spinning. I hate fighting the bosses in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is slow as fuck. It took me 5 hours longer to beat this game than the first one, and it had 2 fewer worlds in it. There is a lot more that I could talk about, but I'm willing to admit that these are likely just nitpicks. Like how every portal sequence takes forever because you're forced to watch the same cutscene. Or how the screw attack was added into this game and functions almost nothing like what it's known for in the side-scrollers. Or how the last fight with Dark Samus introduces a mechanic you haven't had to deal with so far, while you're on a time limit to defeat her without being able to save after having just beaten the second last boss. It hurts me to admit it, but I had no fun playing through this game. I pushed onward because I really want to beat every Metroid game, but I don't recommend that you ever do the same, honestly. For my final trick though, I'd like to point out that from the very start of this game you are tasked with eliminating the Dark Ether in all 3 worlds by returning light to their respective temples. You need 3 keys from each world to fight the boss and restore harmony there. And once you've done that for all 3 temples, you are then informed that you need to find 9 more keys, 3 in each world, to open a final temple and eliminate the Dark Ether for real this time. This was not pointed at the beginning of the game, okay? Unless you find this temple before you need to, this is not pointed at. This point in the game is also where we're introduced to the light suit, but it is no use. This suit is ridiculous. It gives you the option to fast travel from temple to temple and stops all damage from the Dark Ether, which, as I mentioned before, was already not a problem. Wow. I actually got through all of that. Honestly, it pains me to be like this about a Metroid game, it really does, because there are so many good ideas, and they're just not executed in a way that's friendly to the player. And if Metroid Prime 2 is one of your favorite games at home, I don't blame you at all. Thematically, very cool. The ideas, they're all there. The execution, arguably you may have enjoyed it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Anywho, if you like this video, maybe feel free to subscribe because I'm doing stuff like this all the time. And as for that, everybody, my name is Myloe, and I'm out.